asked a lot is, what should I expect on my first day of CPE? That is a fantastic question. So in this video, I want to tell you 4 things that you should expect on your first day of CPE. I want to give you this information so you can have some idea of what to expect. You should know that many programs and many educators do this somewhat differently, but I think what I'm going to tell you today is going to give you a pretty good and basic understanding of what you should expect on the first day of CPE. And in case you're wondering, that is, of course, my adorable little puppy, Casper. So I usually begin a CPE unit on the first day by gathering all the students together and doing a round of icebreakers. I think this is really important because I assume that students are anxious, they're nervous, just like I would be, and just like I was in every CPE unit on the first day. It's a new environment, it's a new group of people. And group theories say that in the first stage of a group's development, we're always assessing for trust and safety. So my idea on the first day of CPE is to try to help the group begin to trust and feel safe in the environment. If students were to come in and we were to get right into the deepest, darkest secrets of their personal history, that would be too much too fast. So instead, I start off with some very common icebreakers, something like, how was your commute this morning? Where did you commute from? What did you have for breakfast? Another icebreaker may be 2 truths and a lie. A few years ago, I developed an icebreaker that I'll link to on my website, davidfleener.org. It's 10 questions for the first day of CPE. And I modeled it off of James Lipton and Inside the Actor Studio. On that show, James Lipton would always interview a famous actor. And at the end of that interview, he would always ask 10 questions. Now, some of those questions are not exactly appropriate for CPE, so I've modified them a bit. And I like to go through these 10 questions 2 at a time, placing them on the table and inviting people to respond. It's questions like, what is your favorite sound? What is the sound that you hate the most? They're not too deep, but they do give the group an opportunity to begin to talk about things that they like. There's no preparation for this. It's all personal preference. And the questions are progressively getting a little deeper, all the way to the end where I ask the question, if you believe that heaven is a real place, then when you die and you go there, what do you want to hear God say? So we get into some theological reflection in that kind of way. So the second thing you would do on the first day of a CPE program with me is review the handbook. Now, every CPE program has a handbook, and it is a big book with all the policies and procedures in it about confidentiality and HIPAA, the dismissal process, the tuition policy. It can be really boring. So I try to select the most critical pieces for us to review in a very brief and quick way. And I ask all the students to read the handbook before we meet again next week. And then you have to sign a form stating that you've read it and you'll comply with the policies and the procedures. As part of that activity, and really my favorite part of the day, it is to share the syllabus. I like to give students an idea of what they are in for. What did you sign up for? I assume that you come on the first day really curious about what's going to be required of you. The third thing that I tend to do on the first day of CPE is give you a tour of the facilities. Now, I've always taught CPE in a healthcare environment. There is CPE in lots of different environments. However, the majority of CPE does take place in healthcare. So be prepared to take a walking tour. Hospitals tend to be pretty large places, and there's really no way to take in all of the information all at once, but do your best. I usually schedule the walking tour for somewhere in the middle of the day because we do a lot of sitting in CPE. There's lots of information to be taken in on the first day of CPE. So most of us educators try to dole it out just a little by little, noting that it's a long day and there's only so much that you can take in. Fourth thing that you might expect to do on your first day of CPE is meet the other chaplains. There tend to be departments of various sizes. Sometimes there's just one person who's the director and the educator, and that's it. And you're the spiritual care team. In other departments on the other end of that spectrum, there are ample staff members, sometimes 8, 15, 20, staff chaplains in the department. It could be a very large operation. And so you'll have the opportunity to meet those folks, typically on your first day or within the first week. Sometimes staff chaplains serve as preceptors or mentors to CPE programs. Sometimes they're not involved in the education at all, but you will work together as part of a team if you do have a larger spiritual care department where you'll be handing off patient situations to one another. So it's really important to get to know the people with whom you'll be working. So those are the 4 things that you should expect on the first day of a CPE program or something like that. I hope that gives you a flavor of what you're in store for. And the final thing I'll say is good luck with your CPE program. Congratulations for getting into one. That's not always easy. And for taking this really bold and difficult step in your professional development. CPE changed my life, and I hope that it does the same for you. All right, until next time, be sure to check me out at davidfleener.org for information related to chaplaincy, CPE, and spiritual care. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And Casper, hey, buddy. Hey, Casper. Wow. Casper's really out of it. This is his nap time, so we'll leave him be. Okay, check out his YouTube channel too, Casper von Barklesby. That's with 2 B's, Casper von Barklesby. If you just like cute videos of Maltese puppies, that's the place to go. All right, see you later.